Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome to my restaurant chronicles. So basically, my chronicles will include me talking about my crazy experiences while working in the food industry for 10 years. Um, it it's pretty bad out there. Like, you've seen those videos about, the customer recording about their interactions with the workers, but the workers always have their side of the story that's never told, really. So I'm gonna tell you what I've endured and what my experience has been. And the experience was this one time I worked at this Mexican Subway, and I had like a few minutes left before I had to go and clock in for work. And after waiting in line for like a few minutes, I've noticed that this one customer was being very rude, very irate, and very ignorant. How Nene Neeks be saying, "You were so rude and so nasty." Yeah, she was so rude and so nasty. So I come in and I see that she's just over here being rude, yelling at the worker. Mind you, at this Mexican Subway, there is one person on the line that's supposed to serve all 25 people that just rushed in. And he's very not experienced in this particular instance. After 2 minutes of seeing this, I just like had enough. I was like, I'm about to run late for my shift. I'm just trying to get me a quick bite to eat before I, be here for the next 6+ hours or so. And my hangry side kicked in. So me being a person who has experience and been in that restaurant for about 3 years at that time, they wasn't gonna let me go. So I took it upon myself to tell her she can go. So after seeing her yell at him, I was like, ma'am, yelling at the worker does not help the situation. You know what this hoe said to me? When I say she cocked her bald headed neck around and said, "And you can shut up." Who? Ma'am, I work here. So I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll shut up and you can go. So before I knew it, she looked at it and was like, I'm about to cancel my order. I'm about to cause a scene. So she calls herself just going over to the napkins, pulling out napkins, throwing it on the floor, napkin holders everywhere, chairs. She just started, I'm gonna knock over this chair and I'm gonna knock this chair over just to see what he gonna do. Now, I don't fight with people when it comes to food. You can either buy the food, you can go home and cook, or go to another restaurant because we're on a strip full of restaurants. It costs nothing to walk out of line and go get you something that you know is going to be quick and easy for you to enjoy for the rest of your day. Then she gets to the tables. Now, she thought this was like one of those McDonald's or something where it's like the tables weren't like bolted down to the floor or whatever, but ours was bolted down to the floor. Let's just say she was more so embarrassed that she couldn't pick up the table, especially when I let her know that it was bolted to the floor. So when she let exit out, she went to her car, and it was one of those old school cars too. When she pulled back up, I noticed. I was like, oh, look at that. But she had to go over to the side, to the passenger side, to like crank down the window to tell me how she felt about her experience. I didn't care less about how you felt about it. Y'all work at a Mexican motherfucking Subway. But what I also noticed in her car was a toddler that was in a booster seat. So I'm trying to figure out, how long have you been in this line trying to order food and your child was in the car, no air, cranking down windows, neglected? I should call the cops. But finally, after the whole entire ordeal was over, my GM walks out and he runs out trying to chase back the lady. We don't need her $10, $20. We have a line out the door and you were nowhere to be found, and your employee was being yelled at and abused by the customers. All this could be avoided if people had patience, knew how to cook, or realized that there's more than one option. But this has been my restaurant chronicles. I got more stories to tell, and that shit is crazy. Stay tuned.